Dance is not a sport. Dance isn't that hard. Dancers aren't athletes. Dancers should dance through injuries. My name is Jana Ponder, and I am currently a senior in high school. I became interested in injury prevention, athletic training, physical therapy, and dance and sports medicine about 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I received my first hip arthroscopic surgery, and that one surgery opened me up to the world of orthopedics, physical therapy, athletic training, dance research, and eventually my project, Injury Prevention 180. No, this study can't cure cancer, it can't manipulate algorithms, and it can't end world hunger. But it can change America for the better. Injuries happen every day, but I believe with my study as a foundation, we as a society can decrease the amount of injuries, have healthier bodies, and have a new way of life. Although this experiment doesn't seem to have a definitive answer, the work that I've done in my initial experiment and continuing experiment does validate my conclusions. Forced turnout caused normal and anteverted hips to drastically increase range of motion, or ROM. This increase weakens the muscles and causes ankle, spine, hip, and knee injuries. I didn't mention the retroverted hip model in this shortened conclusion because the retroverted hip model did not drastically increase in range of motion, which makes sense because 180-degree turnout would be much easier for a person who already has femurs that are less anteverted than an anteverted model or a normal hip model. This conclusion that I've made seems to be jumping to conclusions, but my initial experiment did suggest that normal and anteverted hip models can have drastically increased range of motion. Since bones can't actually increase range of motion, I predicted that these models better represented human muscles rather than the bones I intended them to represent. In my continuation experiment, I decided to actually make my hip models to represent bone and add muscles. Even though my continuation experiment was only a mock experiment, the research done by the professionals in dance medicine indicated the detriments of weak external rotators. Now for my favorite part of this video. I'll try not to talk too long about this, but why I chose this experiment. As I let you know, I've been interested in dance medicine and everything injury prevention since my first surgery, and since then I've had 3 more surgeries, and those 3 surgeries got me involved with physical therapists, and I interned with a physical therapist, an athletic trainer, 2 people in dance medicine, and everything that I learned from them made me want to add that knowledge to the knowledge I already had about dance. I was dancing and had been dancing since I was 7, and I noticed that turnout was a big thing in dance and everyone wanted to have 180-degree turnout, but teachers would enforce this by saying wrap your burritos, which are your thighs, and they wanted you to turn out more, but they would never let us know if our bodies, our bones, were actually capable of doing such a feat. So in thinking of what science fair experiment I should do, all of the information that I learned from these professionals and the things I learned about dance made me want to do this experiment. This experiment caused me to grow a lot. At the beginning, I was extremely excited to do it, but there were a lot of moments where I really wanted to give up, and I was upset that I picked such a hard and seemingly impossible topic to address and to fix. because all of the research that I found, it helped, but nothing directly related to what I was looking for. And I had to go through so many sources, so many actual professionals, and I just had to keep asking people questions. But that allowed me to grow in a greater sense than just science. Of course, it had me grow in the sciences, but it also taught me that I can't get anything done without talking to people. And talking to people is really easy. Just asking a question and waiting for them to answer. The majority of the people I asked did answer my questions. There was only one company I asked a question to that didn't ever respond. And the answers were always more than I ever could imagine. This project also gave me something to keep my mind off of not being able to dance. Since I had danced the majority of my life and had just had some surgeries and was told that I wasn't able to dance anymore, and I didn't know when I was going to be able to dance, just having science to kind of fall back on and still able to incorporate what I knew I loved to it, it was just inevitable for me to fall in love with science and to fall in love with my experiment. This experiment relates not only to dance and dance medicine, but it also relates to the more general field of medicine because, as I said before, my experiment is just a foundation. So many things can be taken from and can be done based on the things that I have done in my experiment and based on the principles that I have for creating my experiment. For example, this could be done for tennis players, it could be done for someone just walking to a meeting. How should that person walk based on their age, weight, height, and bone structure? Just this whole study relates to injury prevention and that person's overall health. So, medicine and public health could definitely use my study to build on other principles that are already here and create new principles that have never been thought of. I hope that my work would be continued by professionals and those that know more about hip injuries and dance medicine. I hope that they would take what I have already started and continue it with the knowledge of how to measure the resistance of the TheraBands. Also, I think that this project could be applied in dance classrooms and in dance companies because teachers usually do enforce turnout even if they don't directly say it. But dance companies especially could have classes where they teach their dancers how to understand their body and know what their body can and can't do. I also would like dance teachers to have a certification in some basic dance medicine athletic training classes, not full certifications as an athletic trainer, but some basic knowledge so that they can help their dancers. Thank you for your time and attention. Please spread the word about dance injury prevention and injury prevention in general.